this segment is focusing on the executing themes, and the executing themes are all about making it happen. These themes, if you look at these, are themes that if you have this, if you recognize the big picture, if you buy into it, if you own it, if you understand what that vision is or that goal, generally people with the executing themes are people that say, let me do it. I can make it happen. I can create the process, the strategies, the methods, the methodologies, whatever needs to happen. And you can count on me not only to say I'll do it, but I will do it. So let's look at each one of these, and I'm going to show you a couple of how they partner together, particularly in this quadrant as well. Let's start with our achiever. Our achiever is self-competition. Remember in the influencing quadrant, there was competition and that was externally driven? Well, achiever is competition, but it's internally driven. It is the self-starter. I am my judge. I am my own referee. I am my jury. And I determine, this is the person that doesn't necessarily ever need anybody else to tell them what to do because they are motivated enough to do it themselves. These are generally list makers. These are people that sometimes have a hard time finishing a day without crossing everything off that list or knowing when they get up in the morning where it is that they are headed and what they are ready to do. I'm going to jump down to responsibility because these two themes most often partner together. It is hard to have achiever without responsibility or responsibility without achiever. And here's why. Responsibility is basically that person that says, you can count on me. I am loyal, I'm committed. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and I will do it at a level of excellence that you will respond to very well. So you can see how responsibility and achiever really do tie in together because it is that self-starter that says, I'll do it, I'll make it happen. Basically that sense of duty. The one thing I want to say about responsibility, this is the one, if you're throwing it into the formula, many times people will say, are you sure this is a strength? Because sometimes it feels like a curse. Because this is the one where people get overwhelmed with. And here is the deal. If you throw it back into that formula, remember talent, the responsibility, the potential inside of me, the knowledge, this is what I know, the skill set that has to be developed. Many times for a person with responsibility, there are two skill sets that you may or may not appreciate, but I want you to understand, because if you are the person with responsibility, absorb it. If you are the person that lives with a person with responsibility, you can help them with this. One is to learn the word no. I can't do it. I can't add one more thing. My bandwidth, there just isn't anything there. And to feel okay with saying no. And or if you can't quite spit out the word no, to figure out delegate. Are you able to delegate this responsibility? And or collaborate might be another word. Is there someone else you can partner with in order to accomplish whatever is being offered to you at this moment in time? And or do you really have to do it? Sometimes is this even necessary or needed? But sometimes with responsibility, everything looks really important. So that's the one we want to understand and recognize that responsibility and achiever generally partner together. So if you have one, it showed up, the other one didn't, I would mark it in that always column. Okay, arranger, let's go back to the top. This is the multitasker. This is the person that is able to juggle many things at the same time. These are people, in fact, they are energized. If they only have one thing to do, they get really bored and sometimes off track and don't finish. But what I hear from arrangers all the time is the more I have to do, the better I am, and I know I'm going to accomplish it. Now, the thing for arrangers to recognize is those of us that aren't arrangers, first of all, we can't always juggle a lot at one time. So recognize that. The other thing is, while you may be listening and are able to be doing something over here, recognize that if I'm talking to you, you're not responding to me in a way I think, even though you're getting everything done, and you could give me back word for word what's being said. I may not recognize that. And many times I hear, especially when I'm working with teams, the offense that happens from this. People get offended when they don't feel like they're being listened to or taken seriously. And that can come from people who are so good with a ranger, but one of the skill sets to learn is to make eye contact, to stop what you're doing and pay attention to whoever's trying to talk to you. Now, belief is an interesting one, and it's going to sound a bit like self-assurance that we talked about in the influencing quadrant. There is one distinction. Belief is all about purpose and meaning. It is the person that arranges their life, that lives their life through their core values. So again, people with belief are people that are able to draw a line in the sand. They can stand firm. It's going to be really hard to make a person with belief waver off of wherever they have landed. Now, at a non-strengths level, many times this can be the person who's called stubborn. Why do I say that? I'm a person with belief, and I have had to learn that maybe somebody else might have a really good idea too. I may or may not ultimately buy into it, but I need to listen because I need to understand that maybe there's another way to think about this, or somebody else might have another perspective. But again, belief is that piece that says this is our core values. And I know on my team, I like people with belief because especially depending on what the core values of our organization are, or what our team or our project, these are the people that will hold us to task and keep our feet to the fire for what we said we were going to do. Now, where are we at? Let's see, consistency. Consistency was originally called fairness. I don't know why Gallup changed the name from its original, but basically what it is, this is the person who, as it says there, fairness, clear rules, justice. This is the idea that one size doesn't fit all. Okay, so there's that piece of equity that goes with this looking individually. So we're looking individually at opportunities, at individuals, at teams, and recognizing what is most fair here, but also generating those clear rules. What are the processes that we need to understand that might help us all in the final outcome, be successful in that final outcome? The next one is deliberative. Originally, this one was called cautious. And guess what? When Gallup rolled this out to corporate America, they went, don't like that word cautious. So let's change the word, changed it to deliberative, but it still means cautious. And basically what it is saying is the deliberative person is the person that's willing to slow things down enough to gather all the needed and necessary information and then move forward with all information in hand, with content there, and in order to be successful in our outcome as well. This one, if we're going to partner themes together, and that's where the power comes. So I'm starting to help you understand what the StrengthsFinder is, but the who are you and who am I? A good partner, and if you read through your reports, I love your action steps because the action steps will tell you who to partner with. A good partner for a deliberative is the activator. Now, as the activator, I don't always like you because you hold me up. But as the deliberative, you don't always like me because I just want to get going. But together, think about the power force that's there. If you can, if as deliberative, you can gather everything that we need to know in order to move forward most appropriately and successfully in order to execute, to make things happen, I will be able to pull the trigger to say, let's go. So I want you to pay attention to the action steps on your reports when it says who to partner with, because that is one of your ways to manage your non-strengths. Discipline basically is the person that is able to create order, structure, routine, methods, methodologies, pretty linear in perspective, but can get things done, can create those checklists, can create that project for all of us in a way that we understand. So discipline, so needed and necessary. Focus is direction with follow-through. Now focus really is the antithesis of arranger, because while arranger is the multitasker, basically focus is the person who is really, fixated on one thing at one time. And it's kind of like I think people with focus, one of the images I get is that person who is like the horse, the race horses. When they are racing, if you pay attention, they're always wearing the blinders. And they wear those blinders so that there is no peripheral vision. They have the racetrack, they know where they're headed, they know where the finish line is, and it doesn't matter who comes alongside them, who's in the stands, anything else that's going on, they're going to get it done. They're going to make it happen. That's what a person with focus is as well. Now, sometimes people with focus need to be in a very quiet, isolated space to do that. On the other hand, some people with focus are able to be out in the middle of everything because they don't even notice anything that's going on because they have those blinders on or their earplugs in or whatever, literally or figuratively, to be able to finish what it is they've started. And then restorative is the problem solver. This is the person that likes to fix people or things, okay, the problem solver. This would be the opposite of the maximizer that we talked about in influencing. If maximizers want to take something that's working really well and take it to the next level, restoratives say, no, give me what's broken. I can fix that. And again, that might be tangibles. You know, I am not a restorative, so inside my cupboard door, I have a list of all kinds of numbers, whether it's the garage company, the plumber, the electrician, whoever it is that I can call if something is broken, because I'm not that. And or you're going to find restoratives in people industries, you know, whether it's in social work or in counseling or in ministry or in teaching many times, because these are the individuals that enjoy and appreciate and value and are willing to take to the next level of fixing that brokenness.